Hi everyone, it's a beautiful day. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at understanding and features in the Windows Server 2025, and at the same time, again, we're going to be renaming our server, and also we're going to install one of the roles, the key roles, which is the Active Directory Domain Services, and let's enjoy and follow along as we learn. So we're going to log in into our server. I hope we still remember our password. Yes. So here we are. So because we have the evaluation copy, so it's still valid for 179 days, as you can see. So for this, I'm going to minimize this. So yes, we start with the roles and features. The server manager is collecting inventory data, so let's just allow for it to finish the initialization. So roles and features. As we know, in Windows Server 2025, a server role defines a server's primary function within a network. An example of that is a file server and a web server, while features are additional capabilities that supports or enhance these roles. So from roles, we have, a server role is the main purpose of a server, such as hosting a website or managing network access and other common roles they include, which we're going to be installing today, is the Active Directory Domain Services. ADDS, simply what does it do? It manages user identities, security, and access to network resources. And another role is the File and Storage Services, which manages shared folders, storage quotas, and related services. Another one too is Hyper-V. We have the web server IIS. We have the DHCP server roles and the DNS server, which we're going to be exploring as we go on. And for features, features are supplementary components that add functionalities. They add functionalities to the server or specific roles. And examples, typical examples are the .NET frameworks and the Windows Local Administrator Password Solution. So if we look, yeah, these are roles that mean DDS certificate, Active Directory Domain Services, Active Directory Federation Services, and all that. So from it, from top to the bottom, Windows Server Update Services, these are roles. And for features, these are the features as explained earlier. So these are examples of .NET, containers, BitLocker, Java encryption, all the way down to the Win server. So we're going to explore this as we journey. Yeah, so to make this server an Active Directory and Domain Services server, so the first thing we're going to do, if we look at this, the name, the Windows name, we're going to change this server's name first. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we come to the local server, and from here you could see it still belongs to a work group. So we click on this, and when you see this, click on change, and we can give it a name. We can say ADD as server. So you have to give it like a meaningful name, like the role, what it does. A naming convention is very important. So you just say okay. Then yeah, you said you must restart your computer to apply these changes. So before restarting, if you have any files on not words opened, we should save them before we do a restart. But we're just gonna go ahead and just do a restart. So we close this and we restart now. Here we are. So we're back. So log in again. Yeah, so we're back. So we're gonna check the name we just changed to. So if you look at that, computer name is now ADDS hyphen server. So the next thing we're gonna do right now is, if you see, the Ethernet is still on DHCP. So we're gonna go ahead and list an IP address to our server. So click on this, properties, go right here. You can say 10, and say okay, okay, and we close. So the next thing we're going to do now is to add the roles. So we could go either from the manage option menu here, or we could go through here. So just let's go manage, add roles and features. So we say next, next, say next. Then the Active Directory, say add features, and say next. So for this, the basic features that are actually required are already ticked. The policy .NET Framework 4.2, 4.8. Then remote server admin tool. We have the Defender antivirus installed. So we have the Windows Admin Center. So they already ticked. So just say next. And yes, we say next. And so we say install. It's in progress. Installation is in progress. So the installation is completed. So we're going to close this. And now we've only installed the roles and the features. For this server to be a domain controller, we now have to configure the server to be a domain controller. And what do? We come, you see this flag where you have this exclamation mark. You click on it and you see promote this server to a domain controller. So we click on this. So You have three options here. One is One says add a domain controller to an existing domain. If you already have a new domain controller, you already have a forest and you just want to add another domain controller to a group of other domain controllers, maybe it's a primary domain controller, you can choose this option. If you also have a new domain to an existing forest, you can add a new domain controller to an existing forest. But here, we're just adding a new forest. So simply put, when you are creating a new forest, as we have here, a new forest in Windows Server Active Directory environment is a separate independent instance of Active Directory, distinct from any existing forest, since we are just creating a new forest. And for the fact that it's actually new forest, it has independent structure, security boundary, and there is no automatic trusts, in the sense that there are no automatic trust relationships between forests. Trusts must be explicitly configured manually if cross forest access is needed, and it has separate management. For each forest has its own schema. Um, the schema is just like the blueprint for all objects, its own configuration partition, and its own forest domain. Then for security boundary act as a hard security boundary, which by default users in one forest cannot access resources in another forest, except you explicitly also define a trust. And for the independent structure, it has its own complete set of Active Directory data, including user groups and accounts and security policies. So for here, we're just going to go ahead here and define a root domain name. You can call this any name. You can give it xyz.com. It could be your name. It could be your name.com. And we're just gonna go ahead with com. Say next. So here we have select a functional. If you say select a functional level, so we'll maintain the forex functional level as 2025 and domain functional level also as 2025. So for a recovery mode, in case you want to recover this, so you have to put in a restore mode password for the directory services. So make sure it's a password that you also remember. So you say next. So I'm going to click on next, and the net BIOS input and output. It's verifying. So yes, so this is the name. So say next. Then yes, here to specify the location of the ADDS database log files in system wall. So the database folder normally in an active environment, you would have most of all these directories on possibly another storage. But because of, I mean, we are in a test lab, So we're just going to leave them the way it is. The sysvol contains the user policy profiles. The NTDS contains the Active Directory database, and it also contains the log files. So we're just going to say next. So you check everything to see if it's okay. All the way, yeah, top down. And if you also want to run a PowerShell script, you can say view scripts. You see, you can use this to actually run if you want to run via PowerShell. And you say next. It's verifying the prerequisites. Then yes, you see this. So all prerequisite checks pass successfully, and you say install. Just waiting for DNS installation to finish. Yeah, so um, it's done. It's done installing, and system is restarting right now. Restarting and applying computer changes, computer settings. So just wait for this to finish, and we'll log on back to the server. So we're back again, and now if you see, you can see the kubeplug and slash the administrators convention is what we can see now compared to what we just had before, which was just administrator. So we're going to log in now. Yes, so how do you know that your ADDS rule has been applied or installed? So now you see it's been populated. Now you have the ADDS here. Then if you come to tools, you will see Active Directory users and computers, Active Directory sites and services, and Active Directory domains and trust. So if you click on this also to check, you would see Active Directories and users container. It's, live now and direct. See, kubeplug.com. And we have users, list of users already. See, that's one. And two, if you go and if you also go through the local server, you could see now a computer name now is ADDS server, that's domain name is kubeplug.com. And if you look at the IP address now, you see it's now a static IP address, unlike a dynamic IP address. So if we check it out, yes, now we have our domain controller installed. So, and on this episode, this is how to go through the roles to install the ADDS role and also to configure Active Directory domain services on the computer, the server. So if you enjoyed this, I would like to say thank you for watching, and on our next video, it's gonna be we're gonna be joining a client which is a Windows 11 to this Active Directory server. Thank you.